Hello everyone and welcome to a new video about Zazzle. In this opportunity I want to talk about title, description and tags, best practices. I'm gonna base this video mainly in the information that we can get on the Zazzle page in the help center. So I think it's nothing new, it's nothing that you actually cannot go ahead and read and analyze by yourself, but I also going to add some additional information like my own insights, my experience and the things that I have realized. So if you are thinking about titles, descriptions and tagging, is because you probably already are posting products on this platform. um, Whether you are trying to check out how to do this from the beginning in a good form, or whether you are having problems because maybe your products are not getting no views, or maybe you are not getting the sales that you were hoping to get. So in the case of the titles, they tell us your titles plays a critical role when it comes to customers finding your products on Zazzle, and can also prove to be the make or break factor on whether your products will surface on Google's search engine results page. Therefore, you'll want to get into the habit of continually improving your titles with relevant keywords in order to improve your search page rankings. This is known as search engine optimization, or what is commonly referred to as SEO. So they're telling you something really important. They are telling you that your product page can surface on Google search if you use the appropriate keywords that can be ranking for that. So they are telling you that it's going to depend on your title. Is the make or break factor for this. So the titles in Zazzle are quite important and are the ones that decide whether your product can go and rank on Google search or not. But first, what's a title? Titles are a select group of keywords that properly describe your design. Those keywords are what search algorithms use when determining if your product accurately matches what a customer is searching for. The best approach when choosing your title is to ask yourself, what keywords will a customer use when searching for a design like mine? This is usually a great start as you learn to create descriptive titles for your products. To really maximize the effectiveness of your titles, be sure to use keywords that describe the design, theme, color, specific design elements, and even who the product may be intended for. They're giving you some tips here. So the first thing that they are telling you now is, when you're thinking on creating a title, think on the words that you will use by yourself or the customer will use to search the design that you are creating. And then they are telling you this title in descriptive words, and also be focused on who the product may be intended for. So they are giving you now some tips, now design theme, color, specific design elements. So they want you to make a title that is going to be quite easy to find, a title that quite identify your product in a way that the customer can think on this keyword research. So don't use words that actually the customer is not going to think about when trying to search for a product. So, for example, maybe use words that are too difficult or so specific are not a good match, because unless they are actually using the same keyword. So think about when you are going to shop or when you are shopping, what kind of keywords do you use to find the things that you are searching for. So here they are giving you some research tools that you can use, like for example Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush, Mozi Keyword Explorer, Google Trends, Google Search. You can use any of these tools, so you can see if your title is a good match for Google, is your title is a good match for the words that the customers are using, and if you have enough descriptive words or words related to the person who for what or for whom is designed this product. This is another thing that we are going to check out one by one, but with the time. So now, for example, they are giving you here an example, no, on how to organize your the title of your product. No, so for example, they add here, no, design time, type, what's the content, the style, the color, the trade. So for example, in this case, they use vintage, navy, and pink, watercolor, floral, right? So, is even when it's quite specific, like each of these ones are quite, like in general, this title is a specific. I mean, like it have to be vintage, navy and pink, watercolor, and then floral, like your design have all these mix of elements. So that's what it makes your product unique, because maybe there is not other products on the marketplace that have this combination of maybe trade with the color, the style with the content, and design type, right? But but by in the particular way, I mean, vintage is a really general word. No, navy and pink is a quite general word. Watercolor is a really big word. I mean, like it's a big niche. Watercolor can be flowers, animals, objects, no, and then floral is quite also a big niche. Maybe floral with a particular color, or a particular style, or a particular flower or floral design related with the stations of the year. So what actually makes unique your title is the uniqueness of the combination of these elements. I don't know if you are getting the idea, no? Because sometimes it's not necessary. For example, maybe in vintage we have subtypes in vintage, and maybe you are to the vintage and then you add this keyword that is particular for this kind of vintage. But it's not necessary. You can just use the vintage, because the specificity that is going to have your title is going to come with the other things that you are matching this vintage trade. For example, in this case, the color, okay, is navy and pink, and then you can call it this like niche down. Then they say vintage, navy and pink, but also it have like watercolor, which is the kind of style content, right? And then the design type is not any design type, it's floral. So go gather general ideas of your design, and then by the combination is going to be unique. I don't know if I am be clear enough with this. No, so the combination of the different things that contain your design is the one that is going to make unique your title, not each element of the title by itself. I don't know if you realize, but for example, this title or the suggestion that they have is one element, two elements, three elements, four elements, and five elements. So your title ideally should have I will say that at least, I will say that depending on the niche that you are working with, try to think about a round number of three, and I think maybe not less than three, between three and five, depending on the niche that you are working and how much do you need to niche down. And I'm gonna make examples of this. Now we are making like a general review, but with the time I will make a specific review on each of these points, because I don't think that there is anything. I mean, of course, obviously, probably there are many things that you go learning with the and tuning with experience, but that's going to happen eventually with the experience at the time, with you researching more and more, and with you understanding more your niche and the particularities of your niche. And then we have another example that they have, for example, the text-based design. And then here they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, also 5 elements. So I would say that the recommendation that they have is like use like 5 keywords in your titles. You can use less, as I told you, if depending on the niche. But in general, I will say that between 3 to 5, uh, two in really special cases, okay, two in really special cases, but I will say between 3 and 5 is the normal or the common rule. So for example, in this case, they have like text-based design. So full or partial phrase, no bad days, funny quotes with yellow text. So full partial phrase is not bad days. And then they have the trait and the content. No, the trait funny, and then content is a quote, and then the color is yellow, and the design type is a text design, right? So they they mix like really general descriptive words for this design or for this product in a way that is quite easy to find. But what makes this title unique is the combination of all these elements. So, for example, maybe if you use only no bad days, maybe there are many people who actually have a title that is not bad days. But how many people made the text in yellow, for example? Or how many people actually use the word funny quote? Because probably the people is not searching specifically these no bad days. Maybe they just want a funny quote, and they will use this word to search. Maybe they just will type funny text designs, for example. They are searching like for funny text design. So it's a combination of use really general words that the people actually will use to find the product they want or they are searching for. So you have to think about the words that you on how do you normally search for products on the internet. How do you find them, and what kind of things do you add when you want to depure or to make more specific the search. Lastly, be sure to be mindful of the quality of your titles. Quality refers to how unique your titles is. So quality refers to how unique your title is, as well as how relevant your keywords are to one another. In other words, if you reuse your titles across multiple products, or if you try to stuff a bunch of non-relevant keywords into your title, stuffing keywords like birthday, wedding, SPP, valuation into the same title, then search will most likely not surface your results because it will think your product is spam. So they are telling you two things here, how unique your title is. And I don't know if you remember that I mentioned that the uniqueness of your title comes from the combination that you get here, right? We're going to make examples, but just for now, like what makes unique, I mean, like, for example, when you are, these are the ingredients that you are having, right? So what makes unique your soup is the ingredients that you are using there. Okay, so these are the ingredients that we are using. They are simple ingredients, they are simple names, but the combination, each of them maybe is not unique because maybe there are many designs, no bad days, but maybe not every design is yellow. And to point out this particularity makes your title unique and also your design unique, right? I remember, and I don't know if you see one of my first videos that I made, is that Zazzle is about uniqueness. They want things to be unique, and as well as how relevant your keywords are to one another. Okay, so here we have what is niches that are already tested out and niches that haven't been tested out. What do I mean? Maybe, for example, there is a niche called not bad days, okay? And in general, all the people use black text. They don't use yellow text. So not bad days with yellow text will be a niche or a sub niche of not bad days. And maybe if this niche haven't received any sale, then it's not a proven niche. Like the platform haven't not realized or haven't not detect that actually the people wants to get this kind of product, or when they are searching not bad days, they want it to be yellow. And for that, if this is an idea that the algorithm don't validate, is something that will keep irrelevant. So maybe the most of the people always buy no bad days in black. So probably these ones, the black, the word black is more relevant to bad days than, for example, yellow. And this is because the people maybe click more on the black ones. Maybe the people see the black and the yellow, but only click on the buy the black one, and so on. That's the things that like the testing now about the views, the clicks, and so on, give the relevance to a in the marketplace to a keyword. So you have to check out how do you mix this. For example, let's go to say no bad days. We will see examples, but the thing is that you have to find a mix of keywords that support the strengthness of this title, right? Eh, Words that are continuously related to this keyword that made the algorithm think. That's why they are asking you to be descriptive, because it's like with the time the people goes and buy, right? So the algorithm already have an idea of what kind of designs do the people want, for what kind of intention, and so on. So it's like they have like mini bags, the people are searching the design in this way, and they want that for, I don't know, for the child, for the father, whatever it is. And the keywords that match the designs that the people buy with these characteristics are these keywords. If your keywords are not similar to that ones, I mean, if they don't keep a similarity around, I don't know, I really don't know how much percentage, but if the keywords are not similar, then they will have to test them out and see if they work. And or if they quite similar, they just put it together with this other thing. I think you have to test out, yeah, but you have to know that there are keywords that we made the algorithm to test out your product to see if it works or not. But you have the risk that if it doesn't work, then it will, they just telling you here. Then search will most likely not surface because they test product. But if with the time your product doesn't prove that the people like to click there or the people like to buy it, the algorithm is just going to say like this design with these keywords are not relevant. So to avoid these kind of things, try to design already. That's why many people also say this, right? That try to take out what are the relevant keywords for a particular niche, and from that relevant keywords, then you make your design, which is more easy because once you made the design, I mean, let's go keep going with this example. I will do more, but for now, for example, this no bad days, let's go to suppose that the most of the people buy in black, and actually even when there are yellow designs, the people don't buy them. So if you make a yellow design, is more likelihood that the algorithm is not going to show it in the audience. Let's go with this example of not bad days, funny quotes with yellow text. So maybe there are yellow, black, green, but the most of the people buy the black one. So yes, maybe, probably, the algorithm will text the yellow one with the people who actually like to see the yellow one, or the people who actually has buying the yellow one. Maybe it's going to try to test out to see if this yellow design maybe works. But on the most of the cases, if there is already one kind of style or color of design that is working, then they are going to push this new design with these general characteristics. Because even when a design is the same one, I mean, they have the same not bad days, maybe the letter is different, the style is different, the tone of the color is different, the presentation or the additional things that on the designs are different. So that makes unique. So that's why you have to find inside of a niche that is already working what kind of things you can make to make it unique, and that uniqueness have to come not for the 50% or 18% from of the design, but the 20%. You know what I mean? Like for example, I'm gonna make examples of this, but let's go to say that you have a percentile of likelihood of this design. What I mean is that let's go to say that we have a search page that is not bad days. And let's go to suppose that if you go to funny, to quote, and then yellow and text, you realize that there is a quite decent amount of search results. So you already know that this is a niche that is proven, is selling, and the people actually like this kind of characteristics, right? But now you are in the thing that I want to make it different. It can be make it different because even if it's not bad days funny, maybe the style of the lettering is different. You can make the design different by itself, or you can add a wording here that makes not only the design but also your title different to the other titles, right? So these are many things that you have to take in consideration, but just for you to take in mind. So here they have a list of do and don't. So do use descriptive words that accurately describe your design and theme such as color and patch or pattern. Okay, so we already see the examples here. Like I mean, in general, they have like a graphic-based design and a text-based design. And then we have do use keywords customers would normally search for. This is quite important. Normally search for. I mean, not bad days, funny, quote, yellow, vintage, navy, pink, watercolor, floral. You see, these words are quite big words. They are not so specific. Like for example, floral. This doesn't have like specific the name of the flower. For example, the navy have other different type of navy blue. Navy blue is a particular color, but let's go to say, for example, a dark pink or a light pink. No, there is not that specificity on the title. It depends on what you are working with. Sometimes you need that specificity, but sometimes no. It depends on and it's according with the situation. That's why we're gonna make examples. Do use, but by the start point, start with general. It's the best option, especially if you want to go on a category in particular in the search results. Do use a unique leader title for each design. Do use a unique title for each design. Okay, so this is Zazzle who is telling you. It's not something that I am telling you to do. It's not something that any guru is telling you to do. Zazzle is telling you. Do use unique title for each design. Even if you make because I also going to give this example. You can use the same design even in the same product for different kind of audience and for different type of products, right? Or for different type of occasions and so on. And we are gonna see this in future. But they are telling you that even so it's the same design, whatever, you need to use a unique title for each design. And this is quite important. This goes inside of an strategy that I think is to test out keywords, test out market, test out customers, test out design, test out color, and so on. So they are telling you a few things. You need to be descriptive, use common or normally used words, and be unique. Okay, so they are telling you already. Now they don't. Don't use a numbering scheme to distinguish similar design. I know when we are making like the testing things, when we are testing keywords, we are testing design, we are testing colors, and I know everybody have the necessity or the feeling, oh, I need to identify this, how is the progress of what they're doing. But they are telling you, don't do that in the title. If you're gonna do so, don't do that on the title. Don't use numbering scheme to distinguish similar designs. There are particular cases in which I think you can use numbers, but no for the design. I mean, you, for example, let's go to say that you make a design, a, a cover that is red, for example, and then you put in the design, red design cover 1, red design cover 2, red design cover 3, and so on. No, don't use the numbers in this way, at least not in this way, because it's spamming, it's repetitive, and that's the thing that we don't want. Don't include the product type within the title. Why? Because the system will do it automatically. I mean, if you have already posted product, you will realize that once you add these keywords to the title section, the system will by itself to add the name of the product at the end of the title. You don't need to do that, okay? And don't do that. That's the way in which the system is working for Zazzle, right? So don't go against that, okay? It's not going to be benefits for you to go against the things that are already established in the system in Zazzle, right? Don't use less than 3 words or less than 20 characters. Actually, I have one time that I don't read this, but I don't know if you remember in the upper part, I count this and I tell you that are around 5 recommendations of different words to use, and I told you don't use less than 3 keywords. And actually, that's why they also know that there are some niches or some categories that actually they are not so big. So actually, they don't need to have so many keywords or to be so specific, right? Don't only use artistic abstract naming conventions. This is because your customer not necessarily is an artist, so they don't necessarily manage the word or the wording that an artist is going to manage or is going to use, right? So don't make the things difficult for the customer. What we want is them to find the products and the things that they want. So don't use technical keywords or things that taste it out. For example, let's go to say, I don't know, someone wants to give a gift for a person who loves mathematics. Okay, maybe the person who is searching for the gift doesn't know anything about mathematics, but the people that this gift is for knows a lot about that. But probably because the person who is searching for the gift doesn't know very much about mathematics, maybe the word that is going to use is maybe just in general, gift for people who love mathematics, and that's all, you know. Um, but maybe if it's someone that actually knows for mathematics and is searching something for itself or for someone who works with them, maybe they will use another kind of wording. And this is why I'm telling you that you have to make tests, you have to test out, you have to post not only product style, product colors, or product names, or product type, or product, but also titles and keywords different for different type of audience. No, and we are gonna see this now more in detail. But in general, the people who comes to search in Zazzle is because it's going to search a gift for someone else. Okay, so that means that these people in general is not going to be like this savvy or this geek about this particular matter. So they will use general words to search what they are searching for or to find what they are searching for. Don't only use keywords such as create your own, design your own, your text here. No, don't do that. Why? Because in general, all the products in Zazzle and this marketplace are for that. Is for the people to come and customize. So it's a kind of irrelevant to add this without any other thing. That's why they say don't only use keywords. So they are not telling you that you cannot use create your own, design your own, your text here. No, they are not telling you do not use this. No, they are telling you don't only use these keywords. Okay, so use these keywords, combine with any of these elements that we already see. All right. Then we keep going, no? Don't use the same title more than once or copy another design's title. And again, they already is actually something quite important because look at this. Do use unique titles for each design and then they repeat it and say don't use the same title more than once or copy another design title. So this is quite important, my friend. So if you are using repetitive titles to your own products or for other people's products, stop right there. Don't do that. Don't use repetitive. If you want to find your own placement, don't use the same title more than once or copy another design's title.